Good morning, sunshine, evening moonlight, wherever you're at. This is Charlie.
Philosophers with pens in hand, questions deep, ain't life grand?
Welcome back to Nobody Cares About the Chickens in 2025, where we take life's weirdest questions, toss them into a blender of sarcasm, and serve you something resembling wisdom.
Becomes dark, curious minds, let's move on. Nobody cares about the chickens' minds, the world we're kicking. Elevate the soul, let it fly, find new ways till we die.
Today we're going to unpack why time speeds up as you age, or why childhood summers used to feel like a lifetime, or whether age itself is just a construct we've all agreed to stress about. By the way, if the title of this episode sucked you in, my guess is you're over 35, my chickpea of the same feather. You've reached the phase of life where you regularly Google, "Why does my back hurt?" and start saying things like, "Wow, that was 20 years ago." Stay tuned, as my guess is I'll be your reminder to book that physio appointment after all. Ever notice how waiting for your birthday as a kid felt like an eternity, but now you blink and it's your birthday again? Except now you're another year closer to contemplating things like anti-aging serums. That's because our brains process time differently as we age. In childhood, our brains are constantly encoding new experiences. This detailed memory storage makes time feel stretched out. As adults, routines take over, and the brain stops recording in high definition. Therefore, less novelty equals time compression. Then there's the oddball effect. Unique experiences stand out in memory, making time feel elongated in retrospect. So kids experience more oddball moments, and adults don't. From a mathematical perspective, the proportional theory of time perception suggests that at age 10, 1 year is 10% of your life. At age 50, it's only 2%. So each year feels shorter relative to your entire existence. Therefore, if time perception is this malleable, so what about age? Society assigns rigid milestones. You should have your life figured out by 30, or you're too old to start a new career at 50. But does any of this hold up under scrutiny? Age is often seen as an objective marker. Years lived, cells deteriorated. But if perception of time varies, does age hold objective meaning? Now we're gonna have to call in the existentialists. Those peeps who like to sit in dark rooms and ponder the meaning of life while sipping herbal tea and wearing sweaters with holes in them? Well, they say age is just in your head. And sure, maybe it is, because some 25-year-old out there are convinced they're walking around with the wisdom of a 90-year-old monk who's had 12 lifetimes of suffering. Woo! They've seen it all, mostly because they binge-watched 12 seasons of a drama and called it research. And these are the people who, after a bad breakup, are like, I really feel like I'm in my 40s now. Of course you do, Becky. You've been eating avocado toast and ignoring your student loans since you were 18.
Aww, so cute.
Meanwhile, the 70-year-olds, they're out here flexing on everyone, thinking they can still do a backflip into a pool. They'll tell you they feel invincible, even if their body's like, well, we're definitely not getting out of bed today, buddy. But hey, as long as they believe they're invincible, more power to them. They might be carrying a few extra pounds in the form of wisdom, and maybe a few extra pounds of actual weight, but who is counting? Age is just a number after all, unless it's your cholesterol number, in which case you might want to check that out. Neuroscientists suggest that novelty slows down time perception, meaning that those who continually seek new experiences might feel younger because they're stretching their perception of life. In contrast, routine and monotony accelerate the passage of time, making some people feel older than their biological age. Culture also plays a role in shaping our understanding of age. In Western societies, youth is often romanticized, and aging is framed as decline.
Thank you for everything you do.
But in many Eastern philosophies, aging is seen as a progression toward wisdom. This cultural lens directly influences how individuals interpret their own aging process. A 30-year-old in one culture may feel burdened by expectations of success, while in another, they might feel they're just beginning to understand life. There's also the physical aspect. How much does biology dictate our perception of age? Some 70-year-olds full of energy and curiosity seem younger than exhausted 30-year-olds worn down by stress and inertia. While mindset and perception influence how we experience age, we cannot ignore the biochemical reality of our bodies. Let's get factually nerdy here. Humans are not just thinking beings and souls floating in dimensions. We are hormonal, chemical, and biological entities. And nowhere is this more evident than in the phase of menopause, a stage of life that for many women feels like an absolute ambush. Menopause isn't just about aging. It's a full body transformation triggered by the decline of estrogen and progesterone, two hormones that regulate not just reproduction, but also mood, energy, metabolism, cognition, and bone health. When these hormones plummet, the effects are profound. Studies have shown that declining estrogen affects neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, leading to mood swings, depression, and anxiety. In fact, research from the Journal of American Medical Association found that women in perimenopause have a 40% higher risk of developing depression compared to premenopausal women. According to the National Osteoporosis Foundation, women can lose up to 20% of their bone density in the first 5 years post-menopause due to estrogen loss, increasing the risk of fractures and osteoporosis. The American Heart Association states that estrogen helps keep blood vessels flexible, so its decline increases the risk of high blood pressure, cholesterol imbalances, and heart disease. Research from the National Sleep Foundation reports that up to 60% of menopausal women experience severe insomnia, partly due to night sweats and hormonal shifts that disrupt melatonin production. This is not to include weight gain and the metabolic rate that slows down, whereby insulin resistance can increase, making weight gain around the abdomen almost inevitable without drastic lifestyle adjustments.
Where's my Starbucks?
For those with access to medical care, hormone replacement therapy or alternative treatments can mitigate symptoms, but for uninsured or low-income women, the struggle becomes a real crisis. Despite affecting half the population, menopause remains one of the least discussed and least funded areas of medical research. Unlike puberty, which is seen as a natural transition requiring support, menopause is often framed as something women just have to deal with. But this mindset needs to change, and I'm witnessing such change if, for anything, our generation is becoming louder about it and no longer accepting being bullied. In times like these, we cannot afford to sit back and simply contemplate the philosophical questions of age and perception. The biological reality demands action. It's not just about how old we feel. It's about whether we can function, whether we can maintain our health, our careers, our relationships, and most importantly, our dignity through a transition that society continues to neglect. Ignoring menopause as a serious health issue is not just a failure of the medical system. It's a failure of societal priorities.
It's a perfect storm.
We can debate whether age is subjective all that we want, but when millions of women are being drained physically, mentally, and financially by a process they cannot control, the discussion must shift from philosophy to policy. Menopause isn't optional. Neither should its treatment be. And this, my friends, is only one of the many biochemical examples that actually take effect. So now we can discuss the chronological age versus the biological age of where your birth certificate says one thing, but your cells may tell a different story. Some people age faster or slower depending on lifestyle, genetics, and stress. Or we can go deeper into the psychological age, where studies show that how old you feel can impact physical health and longevity. People who perceive themselves as younger tend to live longer, healthier lives, but just like everything else in life, we realize that there is much that we may not be able to control. Our biochemistry wins every time. How we decide to deal with it is paramount. However, there's no denying pain within the journey. The recovery of the mind can play a substantial role, but it will be a daily reminder of age, nevertheless.
I didn't see that coming.
All aboard!
In fields of
All aboard!
What I've experienced is that after your 40th birthday or around it, every year seems to matter more. The realization that we're in the second act of life becomes apparent to anyone undergoing the process of self-awareness. It's great to maintain a young spirit, and that can only truly happen when you embrace what I call wonder and curiosity. Yes, play bimbo on yourself, and as tempting as it may be to say who gives a monkey's bum about one topic or another, still find it in you to get curious. Research more and let the flow of that guide you. You'll be proud when you suddenly are able to talk about this or that subject matter. However, and nevertheless, and as the days go by, it becomes impossible to ignore the fact that life has become shorter. This shift in perspective aligns with the time left theory, which suggests that as people age, they become increasingly aware of the remaining years. This heightened awareness makes priorities clearer, and people begin to focus on what truly matters. We start to empathize more with the elderly, realizing that what we once took for granted, such as good health, now requires effort to maintain. Fear seeps in, if only for a moment, and it requires real work to nudge yourself out of the existential trip. Bones ache, supplements change, and both men and women undergo significant hormonal shifts, whether they like it or not.
I'm sorry, what?
You have to believe me.
Now, to keep this on a lighter note, one clear shift that comes to mind is the massive growth of the beauty and anti-aging industry. Studies show that the global anti-aging market has wildly grown from $140 billion in 2020 to projections of over $216 billion in a couple of years. This explosion reflects a collective desire to trick our brains into feeling younger by tweaking our external appearance. The question remains, does looking younger actually make us feel younger? Research suggests that self-perception influences mental and even physical health. If a person believes they look youthful, their confidence increases, stress levels decrease, and they may even engage in healthier behaviors to maintain that illusion. Now, what we do know scientifically is that from the moment we come to life, we are destined to die. It's practically the only truth we know, maybe after taxes, but alongside that, our body undergoes its own decay process. Cells regenerate at different rates, skin cells renew every few weeks, while neurons in the brain do not regenerate at all. So over time, our body's repair mechanism slows down and entropy takes over. Just like the exposure to oxygen and moisture breaks down metal, our bones lose density, our joints stiffen, and collagen production does decline. The theory of Hayflick limit, which is the number of times a human cell can divide before it stops, places a natural cap on human longevity. At some point, whether time is a construct or not, mathematically, you are running out of it. The older you get, the more intolerant you become of time-wasting nonsense, lies, meaningless drama, and energy vampires get eliminated from your life with incredible efficiency because suddenly every damn minute counts. History is filled with people who defy the timelines society imposes, whether it's Vera Wang, who didn't design her first dress until she was 40, Samuel L. Jackson landed his breakout role at 46, Colonel Sanders franchises KFC at 62, and the rate that I am going, my podcast won't be heard till I'm 77, but who's complaining? Anyway, you caught my drift as the list continues to go on. So these examples serve as proof that success, creativity, and reinvention are not reserved for the young. What truly determines our potential isn't age, it's resilience, it's curiosity, and a refusal to accept expiration dates. But check your health, your hormones, and your habits first. It's real work, baby. It's only after you do this are you able to ask or throw out statements such as, I think age is just a number.
I am so excited. This is going to be a great opportunity. I can't wait to get started. Amazing.
So, if age is largely about perception, how do we trick ourselves into staying young? Well, people who stay mentally engaged, whether by learning new languages, playing instruments, or engaging in creative hobbies, maintain sharper cognitive functions. Regular exercise keeps the body young by promoting cell regeneration, improving circulation, and maintaining muscle mass. Studies today are screaming the importance of muscle and its youth-generating chemicals. Surrounding yourself with people who exude youthful energy keeps your mindset fresh. Studies show that social engagement reduces cognitive decline. Seeking out new experiences and stepping outside of routines helps keep time perception from compressing. And a playful, humorous approach to life fosters resilience. Those who don't take themselves too seriously tend to feel younger. So now you know why I do what I do.
Questions deep, ain't life grand?
And at some point, you stop philosophizing about time and start living intentionally. Whether you subscribe to a linear, cyclical, or multidimensional view of time, one thing remains undeniable. Time always wins. And that thought alone might be enough to make you put down your phone right now and go do something meaningful.
We die. Crack the code of why we're here.
Here's your golden nugget for the day. Time doesn't give a fig about your perception of it. You can convince yourself you're forever young or that you're an ancient sage trapped in the body of a 20-year-old, but the clock doesn't pause for your dramatic internal monologue. Age will do what age does, whether you're an old soul or an invincible superhero. So maybe stop stressing about the number on your birth certificate and start living like time isn't a constant reminder that your body is slowly turning into a pile of dust.
Infinite power.
Keep moving, keep laughing, and maybe take a nap while you still can. Until next time, keep being your amazing, chaotic, perfectly imperfect self. And before you go, do me a tiny favor. Hit follow, rate, leave a comment, and drop a review, or better yet, share this with someone existentially panicking about their next birthday. What you say truly matters to me deeply. Your support is the fuel for the circus train, and I promise to keep trying to improve. I'm on a mission to prove that even if you think you're a nobody or you're not famous, you can still be someone for somebody. Take care, stay curious, and remember, nobody cares about the chickens, the fake time strains, or the guaranteed crackling bones. But there's always someone out there that definitely cares about you.
Mom, somebody just followed me.
Happy New Year, y'all.
This show is sponsored by LoveChaos.co, www.lechaos.co. Genderless, sustainable, trendy lifestyle.